Well, greetings, ghouls, goblins, and other horror freaks. Welcome to a new vlog. We're gonna do something a little different today because it's hot outside. I'm not going outside. I've been doing a lot of maneuvering, shaking, a lot of things that I have not documented for you guys that I was going to. I've been some places, but I didn't make any content regarding it, which is different for me, but I just chose not to. I needed a little break, but now I feel nice and refreshed and a little evil. So I figured with the appropriate shirt on, we're gonna go through my top 5, maybe top 10, but let's do top 5. We'll save the other 5 for another video. My top 5 horror films of all time. Now, the rules to this, I'm gonna explain this to you. When I say horror, understand that this can mean psychological horror, silent films, B movies, camp. When I say B movies and camp, those are movies that are very, like, when they were created, they sort of became infamous because maybe at the time they were bad, but they're so bad they're good. So I have a couple of those on this list and we're gonna get into it. So without further delay, let's get straight into this list. Roll the first clip.
Mr. Grant?
Okay, this one is a hot take because I think a lot of people wouldn't consider this a horror film. I personally do, and I'm a little biased because I just recently read the book a couple of years ago. I had like a few pages left, 30 pages. I didn't finish it because it was so gory. But we have Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. Now, a little history and lore on this movie. It came out in the early 90s and it originally was a book by Michael Crichton. One thing I think is really cool about this movie is that the movie's an adaptation of a book, right? But the same guy that wrote the book also wrote the screenplay, which that doesn't happen very often. You know, a lot of times these movies get adapted, someone else writes the screenplay, and then the original author, they might like supervise or, you know, oversee. He actually wrote it, so he adapted his own book, you know, with the help of Steven Spielberg, but he did it, he wrote it. You could look in the credits. What I love about Jurassic Park, I want to start with the good things, is that first opening sequence where it's like the that shit to me is peak horror. Like the concept of taking these, you know, basically resurrected, genetically modified, prehistoric monsters, and just the whole concept of like them coming back and trying to acclimate to the modern day world. But also I think what's so horrific in it is just, it's sort of a conversation on capitalism. Did I also say that, like, in horror, I feel like there's certain socioeconomic things that I feel like also have, what am I trying to say? That also, you know, it's scary. It's spooky. So I feel like, you know, that makes sense with this movie. The interesting thing about the book, spoilers if you've never read the book, it's been out for like 100 years, so I don't know what to tell you. John Hammond is a fucking demon in the book. Like in comparison to the movie, they make him look like this like tragic Santa Claus, Walt Disney-esque hybrid girl. No, he is the devil. He is the villain. He is the bad guy. Okay, he not nice. So I feel like he sort of represents the issue with capitalism and the sacrifices and things that it would do and how it would sacrifice the very people that allow it to exist in order to meet its own goals. Sort of this like all-consuming void. Also, one gripe that I have with this is that I really wish that with all of the Jurassic World movies that have come out, I really was hoping at some point that we would just get a Jurassic Park reboot, something, a rated R version, because if you've ever read the book, there's no mistaking, that is a horror book. It is so disturbing and gory and so much more intense than the movie, obviously, especially with the time it came out in. I'm sure that they were trying to, like, you know, make it so that it could be seen by a wider audience. But I really hope that maybe one day we'll get to see a full uncensored R-rated, just fully leaning into the book version of Jurassic Park. Moving on to number 4. This next one is a little freaky and y'all might judge me for it, Let's roll the clip.
I work at the animal hospital, and I sew.
Okay. Animal hospital.
Some people think it's kind of gross.
I love gross.
This one is called May. May came out in, let's see when May came out. I feel like May came out in like the 2000s. I really don't know. Hold on. We're looking it up. We're looking it up, guys. Okay, it came out in 2002. So I was a very little one watching this movie, but that's okay. I was raised on a lot of horror films. May was a movie that I definitely snuck and watched. I was not supposed to be watching that, but May is about, so the movie's named after May. She's a young 20-something woman she's awkward, she's shy. You know, she tries to fit in with everybody. I'm just gonna spoil it. So she meets all these different people. I'm not gonna give away the full context of the story, but she meets all these different people. And like, for example, she'd go up to somebody and she'll be like, they'll be talking to her, she'll be like, wow, I really love your eyes. And then she'll like have an interaction with someone else. She's like, wow, I really love your neck. Next person, I really love your arms. Climax of the movie is that she violently murders all of those people. And honestly, a lot of them, like, they give reasons, as every good horror movie usually does, as to why they should die. Like, you know, maybe one of them made fun of her. Maybe one of them was a guy she was interested in and he played her. Something like that. But basically, towards the end of the movie, every person that she complimented, whatever body part she liked, she took it from you. And then she sewed them together. And full spoiler alert, if you don't want to know how it ends, scroll ahead. I mean, what are we on YouTube? Fast forward, whatever. The thing fucking comes to life at the end. That is the very last shot of the film. You see this creature, guy, dude. She's Frankenstein. You know, it's kind of like a early 2000s grungy Y2K-esque, you know, indie film. She's Frankenstein. She's cunty Frankenstein. And basically she creates a Frankenstein because she wanted a friend. She didn't have any friends. Everybody hurt her. All of the people she killed, they betrayed her in some kind of way. So she took their favorite body parts. It's like, okay, period. You want to be a dick? I'm going to take your fucking nose. And she made this person. And at the end, we see his fingers start to move and it goes off. I love this movie. It's definitely a cult classic. It's definitely sort of in that indie horror camp situation. So yeah, let's move on to number 3.
She's all curled up, you know, like a little baby. Oh, Henry. Funny sounds.
What did he do to her?
Well, you can get her out, Billy.
Number 3 is a classic and a movie that I've been watching since I definitely was way too little. But I'm pretty sure at least one of my parents allowed me to watch it because, you know, they sort of had one of their special interests was movies, you know, spectrum behaviors. So they had an entire movie closet, later on a movie theater in their home. And because of that, there's a lot of films that I really appreciate. Creepshow, which I believe came out in the 80s or the 70s, is a horror anthology. It's about 3 or 4 different stories. And I think present day, they've had a show on Shudder, they've had sequels. If you don't know what Creepshow is, please go stop this video and just go watch Creepshow Part 1. Creepshow is such a comforting film to me. I don't know if something's wrong with me, but Creepshow is really a movie that, like, you know, if I'm having a sick day, I'm on my period, ooh, cuddly snuggie, ooh, let's watch Creepshow. It's a horror anthology. One of the most interesting things that I find about this film is that it is a bit campy. It is a bit gory too at times, but Stephen King is in it. And I've been watching this movie for years and I had no freaking clue that Stephen King was an actor. I didn't know he did that. I'm gonna let you find him. I'm not gonna say what story he's in, but see if you can find Stephen King in Creepshow. Comment below if you know where he is or what story he's in Creepshow. But yeah, huge shout out to Creepshow. I'm gonna show you guys one of my favorite scenes from Creepshow. Roll the clip.
Goddamn bugs. Bastards! Fucking roaches. Damn bat. Fuck! Bastards!
Now
revenge theme. I don't know if there's a name for this genre, but I feel like May kind of fits into that because I support women's rights and wrongs. I don't give a shit. But this movie is also an indie horror film. I'm pretty sure that it won a bunch of different awards. None other than a movie that I talk about all the time. And if you piss me off enough and you're a guy, I might just tell you to go watch it with no context. Teeth. Now, I'm not gonna spoil this one because I feel like even though Teeth is also kind of old now, I just want you to go watch it. I'm not gonna give you any context, and don't cheat. Don't go look it up. But if you do watch it, or if you have seen it, tell me your first reaction after watching the film. Just comment that below. But Teeth is a film that, you know, deals with women's rights, I feel like, and bodily autonomy. So I'm not gonna say anything about this one, but I will roll the clip and maybe you can figure it out.
No, those wouldn't be gifts. They'd be like a handout. So, what about the most precious gift of all? Are you going to give that to the first guy who buys you a big bunch of roses?
No way!
No way? And I'm not just talking to the girls. You guys, you have the same gift to give. Are you going to give that to some girl because she looks like she just stepped out of a music video?
Ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, this is the movie that shaped me, that made me who I am. It is the first horror film that I've ever seen in my life, and it's actually my favorite, you know. It's my favorite horror, it's my favorite movie of all time. And when I tell people, they don't believe me. I don't know why. That says more about you than it does me. My top horror film of all time, and you can fight me on this one because I've had some people say that's not horror, that's sci-fi. Bitch, it's horror in the best way possible. Alien. Alien is a film made by Ridley Scott in the 70s, starring Sigourney Weaver. Flawless, 10 out of 10. I would have loved to be able to see this movie in theaters when it first came out, many moons ago. It is so perfectly done. The script, the acting, the tension, and then Sigourney Weaver just carries the fear, the anxiety of, you know, being a woman, being all alone in space, and there's something, you know, so horrifying and so evil, and you don't even know what you're dealing with. I feel like there's a lot of symbolism in this movie. I consider this a feminist horror film as well. There's a lot of symbolism and you know, vaginal symbolism, if you will, especially with the face huggers. And you know, if you really pay attention to this movie, it gets very deep, but it is a movie that I remember seeing when I was so little, and I was like, what the fuck was that? And I was scared of the xenomorphs forever and ever and ever, girl. But it really shaped my appreciation for filmmaking. It was the movie that made me want to be in movies, made me want to make movies. Because if y'all didn't know, I've been making films. It's been a minute, but they got a couple on here. I think they're on this channel. If not, they're on Lot 27 Productions. Go look it up. That's my little production company. But Alien, girl, I have to give you your full credits. Thank you for making me the weirdo that I am. Alien also led to my fixation with werewolves, because I don't know if I ever told y'all, when I was little, I had a fixation on, I wanted to turn into a werewolf. Listen, that was my thing. I wanted to transform into some kind of creature. Like, I was obsessed with it for a while. Very weird child. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, let's roll the clip. Out of 10. Love it. Well, guys, this was fun. You know, hopefully you learned a little bit more about me. Hopefully you comment below and I can learn more about you. Tell me what your favorite horror films are. Tell me if there's anything that I left off of this list that you think should have been there. And tell me your controversial picks and hot takes on films that maybe people don't think they're horror movies, but maybe you have a reason why you think it is. All right, I will see you guys. And if you want part 2 of this, where I'm gonna tell you my next 5 favorite films, we're gonna go backwards. So these are my top 5 and we'll kind of work down the list because I feel like there's about 100 or so that I could talk about. Let me know in the comments and make sure you like and subscribe or I'm gonna send a xenomorph to your house. Love you, bye. Are you still here? Go watch movies. What the fuck are you doing? Go watch something. I mean, if you stayed this long, this is an Easter egg, you know? In the olden days, they used to put these behind the credits. Oh, well, they do that now with Marvel, but this is a post-credit scene. So if you stayed this long, you got to see it, you know? Since you stayed this long, I'm gonna give you an extra one. I just finished watching a film called Sleepaway Camp Part 2. If you're really into campy, just stupid horror, go watch it. You'll enjoy it. It's good for a rainy day. All right, well, get out of here. Go watch movies. Go be weird. Go, I'm serious. Go.